All right, I've been busy digging, and as I slowly get over, or as slowly as I dig and everything, focusing mainly on what I'm trying to get accomplished, and I'm branching off, and I got to go through that. The main reason I've been ignoring that is that's just a huge pile of rocks, and they're rocks I want to keep because some of them are flat, and these are all rocks. Like I hauled this 3 miles, maybe 5 miles. I hauled this off the side of a mountain because it's completely flat. It was worth it. It weighs probably about. I couldn't lift it with one hand, so it's over 50 pounds. It's pretty heavy. It's one of my favorite rocks. I mean, besides this monster, I can carry this with. I can carry it with 2 hands, but not for a long distance. It was actually pretty hard. Down to my favorite tool, and this is why. This is what the ground is made of these rocks. These rocks you see here, they came from there. All of these rocks. It's the first layer, and so it's a real big part of the ground here. Oh, so I'm kind of wanting to keep some of these nice big rocks, and I want to dig out a little bit more on the inside and then seal it all up with a whole bunch of different methods. But I can't do something simple like a pond liner. I can't do it. I tried it. It fails miserably. One hole is all it takes, and this ground is all. This is a bonsai. I live in a bonsai world. That's the ground I live in. I live in a bonsai. Oh, I'm gonna clean this up. This was my old sandbox. Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I'm losing this piece of chicken wire as my soon future desert peach trees. They've been here for 15 years, but see, if they don't get a lot of water, they don't grow. But if they get a lot of water and then they lose it, you can kill them fast that way. All right, so this is my core sample, not core sample, ground sample. Because I've always been really curious. Oh, I've always been really curious about about this land. I really love this land. And so what I've noticed, get up there, from the very top through the first 2 feet is clay and huge boulders. And that's like the first 2 feet. And then right underneath that, we get more of the river rocks, but clay, a lot of clay. Like there's still more clay, big rocks. And then at about 3 feet here, we start to actually get into more like smaller rocks and riverbed and sand. This is actually mostly sand right here. There's no more clay. Like all the clay is from here up. But below that is all sand and rocks and sand and rocks. And you can kind of tell the different little layers as they were developed. This is kind of old, but it's really visible. Like right there, you can see how it shifts from these big rocks that are all mixed up with mostly kind of more like a dirt sand. And then you have right here, this is pure sand all along here, and riverbed rocks. Now these rocks aren't super polished. They're not like they're smooth. Like they've been in running water for a while, but they're not pounded flat like you would see in a riverbed that's been going on for a very long time. So though this stretch right here suggests a flood, this flood wasn't very long, but this place has been underwater for a very long time. And then as you get down further, you see how it has this other little patch. And these lines pretty much run true all the way through. This hole was initially 9 feet. I think I've lost about a foot or two. I'm thinking I lost about a foot or two, but mostly still intact. Anyway, I'm gonna make it deeper eventually, but 9 feet straight down is sort of my limit on being able to get dirt out of a hole like this by myself. Yeah. Fun. Okay. I tried. I failed. We'll do it again next time. Anyway, this is eventually gonna be a garden. Eventually. When I eventually get a way of establishing water, and we'll see about that. This back garden area was one I wanted to do my first greenhouse test back here, because it's the hardest place to water. So I figured it would be the best place to have the most protection for the water. And shockingly enough, this aloe vera plant, which I assumed I was going to kill, I chopped it off and threw it in the ground and walked away. It's coming back to life. It's incredible. I got some seeds coming on my carrots. And then it was like everything I planted in here was pretty much a complete failure this year. It's low nutrition. And this is why I want the pond. Because I can fertilize the ground artificially or through chemicals or even organic chemicals. But if I had a huge fish pond, right, and an ecosystem, if I had an ecosystem where that water could then water the garden, greenhouse, this whole back area, it might just work. I'm worried about it not being big enough, but I think that's going to be huge. Like this is going to take me a while to fill up. If this may take me a couple years to fill up, which is cool because then it gives me some time to build it. I think I want to carve it out more along the whole base, and then right there I'm going to carve that deeper. And it makes me nervous with how deep it is, but yeah, nobody's going to be able to come into it except for right here. And because of that, I need a place for the fish. And if I'm going to have big fish, I need a place for the fish to hibernate over the wintertime. That far down, that is the perfect depth for them to do a whole winterization. They'll have no problems. They'll be good all winter. And that would hold a decent amount, like 14, 15 maybe. Good size. Yeah. And that's why I want to make it bigger. And then they come out and they spawn, and it's like for the crayfish need a muddy bank to dig in. And I'm kind of like, so what I kind of want to do is I want to seal this up with clay and leave it loose in the back so that way they have something to dig in through. They're going to cause leaks. That's the problem with the crayfish. Like I'm curious on how I'm going to get the crayfish done. But my other thought is that if I dig it deep enough and then lay down the foundation to where they can't dig through it, like use some type of friendly concrete or just rocks and clay, that they can burrow down into the pond without actually breaching the pond, because keeping the water in has been the biggest issue. But yeah, this is what I've been working on. I'm going to get back to the roof later, but as of right now, I'm just going to let that go for now. There's just a lot of things I'm trying to do at once, which is half my problem. I'm trying to do too much at once. But fun little project. I think I might try to some of this dirt is really has, like, there's a layer of clay in here, and I'm half contemplating if I want to process this hill down to the different levels of it and pull the clay out, process the clay, and then use that clay. But I think at the same time, I might just buy some clay. Depends on how much it costs. I still got to look that up. Like, honestly, if I don't set this up this year, that's fine. I just want to get it built. And I'm looking for free bricks, but I also have been finding rocks that will do. And I think in the end, I'm not going to have to spend a lot of money, if hardly any money, maybe just the clay. I think that's all I'm really going to buy. All right, well, goodbye.